you should see the feed come through your
Yep.
soon. Yeah. So yeah.
Yes, come on. Excellent connection. Come on.
Yeah, man. Ethernet, man. 110 meg up.
I'm on
240
Wi-Fi.
streams.
I'm on Wi-Fi here.
Nah, man. Man's got a place that. Right, let me see if I can share my screen on a window. OBS. Let me share it. Can you see my OBS on your chat room?
One sec. How can I tell? You
You
can
know
stay
what I
on up.
said? You know the vdo.ninja chat room that I sent you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can see it,
I
yeah?
can see. I can see the dashboard with like audio signals at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Because there's a section here where I'll play through the whole recording. Do you get it?
I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm looking at the screen.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see if you've got visibility. Because if I'm
Yeah, I
trying
can
to
see.
like obviously explain a certain part, we can obviously go through it and just show it.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now. Yeah. Sick.
Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah, like that. So I can obviously on the live stream we be full screen and you can see both of us, but like more for you, so you're not like delayed and out of the loop in it. We can just kind of go through that.
Yeah.
And obviously, if we need to go on a website to flip in Apple.
Yeah, because I'll just straight up look at this screen.
Yeah, it's more just to give you the flexibility, man. Then it's like if Apple's website is here and we're going through it.
Yeah, because last time I did 2 laptops, it was picking up feedback. So I'm trying to keep it all up,
So I'm
all
just
on
trying to
one
see
laptop.
if, like, for example, can you see the Apple website?
Yeah, I can see you scrolling through. Yeah.
Then we can like kind of go through
Oh, pricing and
pricing,
everything.
this, that, all that BS.
Yeah.
That's gonna be there as well. And then switch to the media page. Then there's me and you side by side. Then there's you on your ones. Then there's me on my ones. And then flipping. Yeah. Keynote. Be right back. Yeah, I've got all the scenes. Alright, let me just close the door. Hold on.
No,
My
it's-
voice still feels mad, but it's better at the same time. So far as I know, it shouldn't pick up any. It shouldn't pick up any feedback.
yeah, sweet.
Yeah, your audio sounds much better this time, man.
Yeah, because I've gone downstairs studio and I went and brought my my voiceover mic,
No, better.
the Shure microphone.
It's better still. Did the notification pop up on your dashboard or on your sub feed for the live stream?
Error. Please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent enough through. I don't know what that means.
Nah, it's minor.
So you just ignore it, yeah?
Yeah, ignore it. Ignore it because I've got no drop frames. Sometimes it just does that.
Oh, gotcha. Could have put headphones on, but I don't have one. Actually, did I bring my AirPods? Yeah, I did it. Yeah, never mind. So the thumbnail's Google Pixel.
Did it just pull from the old one?
That's what I mean. I don't know why he's done that. Sorry, guys.
It just pulled from the old one. Well, we've got 7 minutes before we go live. I say we jump straight into iPhone, then we do everything else after, so that
Yeah,
people
sweet.
people are actually here for what we mainly talk about. The others is just
Yeah, yeah.
extra fluff and laziness. I'm glad they kept it the same price, so at least I'm not going to be crying at whatever money that needs to be spent this Friday.
Yeah, also I'm trying to figure out. I haven't seen in detail yet, but the reason why anyone should get the Max over the standard Pro at the moment, besides battery, because now you get the same telephoto lens in there now.
Yeah, full camera system the same. Finally, full
Yeah, because
camera
before
system
that
the
was
same.
like you get the Max, you get 5x telephoto, but yeah,
I still want them to get to a point where they do what Samsung do, where they give you a free and a 5x. Just spoil you
yeah,
enough where they just give you a free and a 5x. The only thing that's different with Samsung's one is their sensors and resolutions are all over the place. One is 12, one is 200, one is 50, one is 10. It's like when you're shooting certain modes, it looks so weird at times.
yeah, for real. I hear that.
So
Please turn up the volume. Can't hear you guys.
was it saying that we're too low?
I can hear Gadgets Boy, but not the other guy.
I like the fact that I'm known as the other guy. God damn. All right, let me turn up. All right, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How am I sounding? I've not gone live on my side yet, so I think you've probably pressed go live on yours, innit? Let me see. Yeah, I think you've pressed go live on yours, which is blessed.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm live. I think.
Yeah, you're live, which is cool. It's not a problem.
Sorry, guys. I'm new to this live stuff. Yeah.
It should show up on 4K on your side, I think now. Yeah, it does 2160p, which is good.
Right, right. When I'm trying to find where do I share this?
Well, the for socials, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I see one that says live now on Dash Creative Studio. Let me.
How's the audio sounding now, people? Is it still dead, or
Set up.
I did increase it? Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Audio levels check 1 2.
Inside.
Inside. I think that should be fine, or else it might start flipping causing issues. So let me just mute my laptop and then go to your stream so I can see the chat from everyone else. It says all good on audio. I hope so. I hope so, because I'm about to go live in 3 minutes. All right, people.
Oh no. Okay, let me delete that one for a minute.
Bang.
I'm just gonna update this thumbnail before I can share it.
It's best not to have even had a thumbnail.
It's just picked it up from the previous stream that we did. I don't know why it's done that. Yeah. And this YouTube loves to be like, "Oh, that's too big." So like, it's not even a big file. But yeah. Okay, that's updated thumbnail for now.
But
Yeah,
that's actually
that
jokes.
that's better than enough. That's better than what was there before.
But let me make sure I got the right comments feed in there. It's I'm gonna
Bro.
I'm gonna start going live in a minute, in 1 minute. I've seen your chat as well. Adam Butler says that audio is all good. Hopefully, I see Jimmy Fire the Dragon in your chat as well. Hey, what's the other guy's name? Ben. That's my name. If that helps. What laptop are you using?
You me?
Yeah.
Why does it keep every time I post it on Twitter, it keeps using old thumbnail. Once.
it's it's embedded low key now. What you have to do is actually
It's fine.
attach the picture.
I'm gonna do. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do. Yeah, manually.
Yeah, you have to just manually add the picture because if you use the UIO, it's locked. That is so jokes.
Have to clear cache and everything.
Fam, we dead the whole thing. 1 more minute. Once it hits 10 p.m., flipping going live.
Okay. Oh yeah, sorry. What laptop am I using? It was my old Intel MacBook Pro, because that's the only one that works with USB plug-in for the camera.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, I'm going live
And,
now.
all right, let's do it.
All right, should be showing live. We should be live on both sides right now, man. Lover of Tech, aka GadgetsBoy, also known as the Gadgets Child, the Child of Gadgets, whichever one. It's nothing but gadgets right now, man. And of course,
Nothing but gadgets. Nothing
nothing,
but tech.
nothing but tech, nothing but gadgets. Just bare remixes. All we know right now is Apple's dropped a bag of gadgets, and just like we did last time with the Pixel 9 series, man, we thought let's just kick back. Let's do a reaction. We wanted to do a like live on demand live stream, but Apple, I just didn't trust the fact that they were gonna strike the channel down because they're not actually live presenting no more. They're still the only ones that want to do a fancy pre-recording of their product reveals now, which fair enough. That's up to them. They want to show off the whole shot on iPhone Hollywood style stuff and whatnot. No problem. But yeah, we thought let's just do it afterwards so that it was going to be safer. So anyone that's tuning in now or tuning in after the fact, if you find it in the algorithm, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn the notifications for both our channels so you don't miss any future content related to Apple's new iPhone 16 series and everything else that they announced that didn't really seem like it was new, but I guess it was new enough. And yeah, just pretty much engage with us in the comments and let's see what's good and let's see what is popping. I see people in the chat from your Adam Butler, Jimmy the Fire Dragon, flipping Super Duper Tech in my chat as well. I see you lot, man. We appreciate you guys coming through. And people showing up, man. We've got 19 concurrent viewers on my side. How many views you got on your side, Tommy?
Where am I finding this?
Your studio dashboard. You know where the title is? For the,
Yeah.
it was
Says 11 at the minute.
yeah, cool. 11 on your side, 21 on my side, 4 likes. I think we're in a good place, man. So 4 new iPhones, bro. As predicted,
Yeah.
iPhone 16 Pro Max, 16 Pro, 16 Plus, 16. That's got to be our main focus. They've updated the AirPods. There's an AirPods 4, and obviously there's a slight update to the AirPods Pro 2. Apple Watch 10, 10th generation,
10 series. Yeah.
9 years. Again, I'm not really much of a watch guy, so I think I'll probably leave that section to you when we get there. And what else? What else did they announce? I believe
That was pretty much it. And they spent a lot of time talking about iOS 18 and all the Apple Intelligence features, which I kind of found. I was a bit like, well, we saw this at the WWDC stuff. I didn't understand why we had to go through all of that again from scratch, but it is what it is. Yeah, we're here. Should we start with the iPhone 16?
Yeah, yeah. iPhone 16. My goodness. Um, it's an interesting one. I've pretty much switched scenes. Let's see if I can skip more closer to what we saw with the iPhone 16. Man, like
Yeah.
Tim
So
Cook, what a name to
I
have.
think I think that the three key things that they did was the DSLR button, kind of button. So we've got the camera control button on the
Yeah,
side, which is quite slick. The way that it kind of sits flush with the phone. It's got nice finishing on top as well to keep it nice and active all the time. So it's always responsive. It's
yeah,
got the
yeah,
new A18 processor, which is really nice. But obviously that's built with AI as the focus point. And then you have the 6.1-inch iPhone 16, and there's also a 6.7-inch plus version. It's going to come in white, black, green, pink, blue. But yeah, I think it's nice that they've added the pink color. I think it's probably the first time they've done that. I've not seen a pink iPhone before. That's not a modified one, if I'm right.
Mm.
Um, I like. I think the key thing to me as well is they need to explain the four camera thing, because obviously visible to everyone is two lenses, but they mentioned that okay, these are four lenses in one basically, because you got the ultra wide and stuff like that. So that needs a bit more clarification, I think. But I get it. I get how that works. It's not the first time it's been done. The DSLR like button, so the camera capture button thing, I think it's cool that they've added that. But I had two questions, two thoughts. One was basically talking about if then someone tweeted about adding a case. Like I wonder how that's going to work with a phone case, because it's quite sensitive to actual being able to touch. It's not just a button, like do you know what I mean? It's not like the power button, for example. So it'd be interesting to see how that works. Secondly, I kind of thought, well, they could have just made the action button do exactly what this does. So basically, you could have done through software where every time you launch a camera related application, whether it's Snapchat, whether it's TikTok, whatever it is, that button there automatically defaults to a camera function. Do you know what I mean? So you're able to do the snapping and stuff like that. But I do like the fact that you can slide on top of it though to zoom in and out. I think that would be really nice to use. Hopefully it's very responsive, but it's Apple, so I know that will be responsive. It'll work really well. I think besides that, to be honest, there's not much there for people. I think it's very software focused this time in terms of all the AI features on iOS 18. So if people are able to use that and find that useful, then it's probably worth upgrading to then. Otherwise, eek.
yeah. I feel it. It's I don't know where to interject, and I don't want to. I don't want to not miss. I don't want to not see the good in it, because I just feel like smartphones and mobile products have just gotten so good now that what's a real bad product where the only way we can critique them at times is unfortunately getting nitpicky. And when we go down that road, it sounds like we're hating on the product, and we're not. I just want to put that out clear. We're not. But I just want to interject where I get the focus of the product, but man, Apple are really going to ride out phones still having 60 hertz full display. One. I'm just flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. Is it a deal breaker? It's one of those ones, bro. It's like if you own a car and a car you've never experienced a car with cruise control or a car that could do 120 miles an hour, even though it's got more than the capabilities and power to do so, you will never really know the benefit of it and the convenience of it, right? So I get it. The argument is going to be people that have used these phones have always had this type of screen, so they're not going to care if they have that type of screen again. That is true. But then at the same time, when the product is so capable of doing it, wouldn't it be nice to even just have a halfway point of it? It's like, I'm not even saying give me radar guided cruise control where it will do the auto stopping and no, just give me basic cruise control at least. Don't give me 120, give me 90. Just give me something that makes me feel like, oh, I didn't know it could feel nice having this feature. Thank you. You see, so the whole notion of a pro motion display, fine. But why don't you come on stage and just be like, we learned everything that we took from our pro motion display and brought it to the normal iPhones, we are now going to call it a fluid motion display. It may not be 120 hertz, but everything we learnt from 120, we've applied it to 90, where it can adaptively refresh all the way down to 48 hertz, and you get 90 hertz. This is a fluid motion display. It's not as good as a pro motion display, but it's something that's derivative of it. Do you understand? I just feel like right now, you're milking it to the point where any form of a high refresh rate can only ever be on a pro phone, and I just think that's just silly at this point, in my opinion.
You know what? There's two. My rebuttal to that would be, when you look at Apple and you look at the way they release their products and who it's for, they've pretty much bear that in mind. I can imagine that at the back end internally, they have a whiteboard that says who is it for, and then we're going to create X, Y, Z. The people that particular phone is for, I don't think they care about having more than 60 hertz because they don't use all that kind of stuff. Like if I bought that phone for my mum, she doesn't care. She doesn't even know what 60 hertz or whatever it is. Eyesight can't even comprehend more than 60 hertz anyway. So you have to bear that in mind first. Secondly, you have to bear in mind that that phone has smaller battery. So again, they need to manage the experience. So you can't slap in higher refresh rate that might affect other parts of the phone that will make people go, what is this garbage in my hand kind of thing. So if you want something bigger and a bit more, then they've also created something for you. So it's not like they don't have a product in their portfolio that goes, actually, if you prefer, or you're a pro user, gamer, etc., check out the iPhone 16 Pro catalog over there. We've got some stuff there. But the other side of these as well is now the 15 Pro and the Pro Max, which has these excellent refresh rate, they're going to go down in price. So the people that might want to buy the iPhone 16 base, maybe now it's time for them to spend that money on the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max.
Nah, I'm in agreement with that. Again, I'm not saying give the exact same thing as the Pro, but what I'm saying is there is such thing as a fair stopgap. Do you understand? It's a fair stopgap. I'm not saying put 120, but you could easily brand it as fluid motion. You don't have to call it pro motion. Fluid motion, just say that everything we learnt from there, we've now given you a version of it at 90 hertz. It probably only goes down to 48 hertz, right? And it gives you that similar feeling, right? And that's it. So that's my argument for the 16, 1. 2, answering your questions about this 4 cameras thing, this is a perfect case of over-marketing. I don't agree with it either. It's 2 cameras. And I get you're trying to make it, fancy marketing because the 2x crop is technically the equivalent of a 48 or 50 millimeter lens, right? So it behaves like it's another focal length. I get that. But it's not another focal length. Not really. Not a true focal length, right? So that's 1. Obviously, your main 24 millimeter, 48 megapixels, 2. Your ultra wide, 3. And then within the ultra wide, because the ultra wide has an autofocus, which, mind you, OnePlus did it first with the OnePlus 7T, and I was working there, and I was actually briefing Tommy on that feature at that time when I was training in PR. Then, because of that, they're classing it as another lens. So it's anything to basically say, we really don't see the value of giving you like a true 3x lens. So we're going to try and milk it in marketing to make it feel like, hey, you've got 4 lenses that you're using. Bro, it's not 4 lenses. And it's okay that it's not 4 lenses. Just don't try and overmarket something that isn't there.
Don't pull wool over our eyes.
Don't get me wrong. You see someone like Samsung put a dedicated 3x lens in a phone at that similar price of $799. Even Motorola, for some funny reason, managed to put a 3x dedicated zoom lens on a £400 phone. And I'm like, these things are good, right? So it's nice that competition can also add that at that price point. But if they don't, it's okay. It's not a big deal. If it's 2 cameras, it's 2 cameras. We move. But it's just that overselling of, hey, 4 cameras. I'm like, bro, it's not 4 cameras. Just relax. It's okay. No one's going to come after you if it's just 2 cameras. If it's 2 cameras that do more, even better. Don't sell it as 4.
Yeah. I totally understand. Also, the just for people that are tuning in and whatnot, I thought it's just worth me mentioning some of the main differences. So if you've got the 15, versus the 16, if you want to know what the differences are, is the fact that the new 16 has the new action button now, because before the old 15 had the old mute switch button only. So now we have those two new buttons on there. You have the new A18 chipset in there. The new 16 has bigger RAM now as well. So you have 8 gigabytes of RAM compared to predecessor, which had 6 gigabytes of RAM. You have all the AI features, which is not supported on the 15 because it doesn't have the new processor in there. You also have vertical camera support for spatial audio. So they've rearranged the camera. So obviously they knew they were going to do that before. Storage options remain the same. 48 megapixel fusion main camera. They've added fusion because of all that extra bits that you can do with it. 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with macro now compared to before. Better battery life. So you get 2 hours more for video playback. What's annoying, same 20 watts wire charging is still not faster. But you can weirdly charge faster on MagSafe with 25 watts compared to 20 watts wired, which is weird that they've done that. But those are the main differences, really. So if you're considering upgrading, those are the things you have to consider, whether you care about all that AI stuff or not.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna drop into some of the questions people have got in there.
Yeah.
People are saying, someone's saying that they love the blue color. Fair. It said, I'm a fold boy, can't be bothered with the iPhone, but nice stream, keep it up. Now we appreciate it, man. Stream is in 4K UHD 2160p, so you got the bandwidth, the device, and the display. Definitely turn it up from 720p HD, go up to full HD 1080p, QHD 1440p, all the way up to the maximum quality 2160p. So you get a nice clear image as we are pretty much putting it through. We're pretty much just going through some of the questions, and then we're going to interject a bit more across the 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, and 16 Pro Max. We are going to be focusing on the iPhones as the main subjects, and we'll go over to the other products as well, so we don't bury the lead and keep you hanging. Super Duper Tech says, firstly, the battery on the Pro Max has now gone up from 29 to 33 hours. That's a 12% increase. Will be insane to see how that compares. And hey, you know me, man. I ain't gonna play when it comes to that battery drain test. So on site day one, expect that to go live on a Saturday, 21st, ASAP. No joke. So we'll see about that. And it's a good look. I mean, it's a bigger phone, but still keeping it within the same profile. So I'm eager to see that.
Someone
Also,
here says,
yeah, go
sorry,
on.
someone here says, I thought the 15 Pro Max adds the action button. Yeah, it does. It does. It's the 15, the normal 15. So not the Pro ones.
Yeah, the normal 15 didn't. Super Duper Text drops another one. It says, also, shame 8K hasn't come this time, although I think it will come next time for sure, where it records across all the lenses and not the telephoto. You know what? That's a good point. I want to actually pause on that and say that's a good point, because I feel like Apple had the processing power last year, but maybe they're waiting for all the lenses to be 48 megapixels, and then it will activate the ability to shoot 8K across all of them seamlessly. You see, because one thing that's good about Apple is all the lenses shoot the same slow motion, including the selfie. It's unnecessary, that it's got that flexibility, but it's one of those ones where if all the lenses are capable, all the sensors are capable, then all of them should be able to shoot the same modes, which I'm a big fan of. You see, so if they're waiting to be able to shoot 8K on all the lenses, right, then you know what? Fine. It makes sense why 4K 120 made the show, and they're doing 4K 120 like proper boss level compared to the others. So I rate it. That's a good point, Super Duper Tech. What do we have here? Action button is too high and on the wrong side for the camera shutter button. That's a fair point. That's a potential fair point. 60 hertz isn't nitpicky. All I'm saying about the 60 hertz, I just want to drive it home, is because I've got Bite Review, aka Tom. He says, while I don't think it's right by a long shot, most people still don't care about 60 hertz versus 120 hertz. So I see why Apple don't do it. And again, I said this about the nitpicky part. I understand why they don't do it. But my point is, I'm not even saying give us 120 hertz. What I'm saying is, give us a fair stopgap. Do you understand? I think a fair stopgap is a 90 hertz screen that could go down to 480 hertz. And it's just called fluid motion. It doesn't need to be a pro feature. That's it. Just make it a nice stopgap. And the argument I make is, imagine getting a brand new car with all its capabilities. No one's saying give me some self-driving features where it's got radars that can show you, speeding, and no one's asking for that. But at least give me a basic level of cruise control so that, oh, I know I've got it there, even if I don't care for it too much, it's there. You know, like it's just one of those ones where the tech is so cheap and good. Add it for people to just have a nice stopgap. So that's the only argument I make. Cool. Apple are gonna run 60 hertz to the ground until I have grandkids at this point. It's okay. But come on, man. Allow it. Just you know.
That was jokes. All right, should
Well,
we move on to the Pro series?
we've got technically T in the house. Yo. Yep. Let's move over to the Pro series because you dropped one thing about the Pro series that I'm happy with. And some could say they're copying Google because Google kind of did it first with the 9 series. The smaller Pro devices now absolutely have the exact same camera system. In the past, and this was something that was very prevalent with the with the 12 Pro, they always go through this stopgap where, unfortunately, the smaller Pro devices have the lesser camera, especially when it comes to zoom. You
Yeah,
see, so happy to see it. New 48 megapixel ultra wide, which is great to see. New
yeah,
48 megapixel main sensor. And finally, the same 5x zoom at 12 megapixels, just like the Pro Max. So if you wanted that, which I know most people would, and I'll be one of them, yeah,
yeah,
that's a good look. What do you think?
yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love that. I love the new desert titanium color. I think that looks really
Yeah,
good.
that looks
Really
suave.
cool. That's the one I'm definitely going for. It's either that or I'm going to go for the rose gold, the new rose gold looking one. I think they look cool. I like the finishing on it. Um, it's got new A18 Pro chip compared to normal A18 on the other ones, so that should prove a lot better. It's 3 nanometers, which should prove more efficient for battery life.
Second generation as well.
Yeah, yeah, as well as a larger battery. We don't know what the actual million power is for the battery in there yet, but it can do that. And then 4K video at 120 frames per second and HDR. I think that's sick. But again, I don't know how many people are going to use it. Is it going to turn into another cinematic mode that I don't remember the last time I see anyone use cinematic mode after the review period, and maybe 2 months after launch. I don't know anyone that still uses it, so I don't know if that's important or not. But they've chucked it in there, man. That's in there as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But then the rest of it is like software stuff, like iOS 18 and the satellite connectivity thing, where you can send videos via satellite now as well in emergencies, I think. But yeah, they've got that as well. Shutter speed's much faster as well with a camera, so that should help. But yeah, that's pretty much the highlight for me with the 16 series. And like you said, I love that they've now got matching, because before it was a case of actually I wanted a smaller iPhone 15, iPhone 15 Pro, but because I wanted the better camera, I went for the Pro Max. So this
Yeah.
year might be the year that I go back to the 16 Pro, because I get the same experience besides obviously battery life.
And that's literally like how it should be, man. I would say that the path Google and Apple are on is correct. I feel like Google hardware wise are slightly ahead in a way, in the sense that they've put 48 megapixels for all of them. I don't think Google's utilized it enough because there's weird things like, let's just say, if you want to do 5x portrait mode, you can't do it on the Google. Whereas with the Apple, you can do 5x portrait mode, you can do 2x, you could do 1x. On Samsung, you can do 1x, 2x, 3x, and 5x. So those things are there. I still feel like there's room for a 3x zoom on the iPhone, man. Low key, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like although Samsung's resolution on all the sensors is so all over the place, where one is 12, one is 200, one is 10, one is 50, I do like the fact that there's just a lens for each range, 1, 2, 3, 5. I still feel like if Apple figure out a way to squeeze that in, how they would do it is so much better than everyone else because, bro, they know how I don't know how to pull it. When the lenses zoom in, the transitions are so smooth.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh,
Between between the focal length is different. Yeah,
It's little sentimental things, but when you look back at your videos, right, it just looks so nice how it can just seamlessly switch between back and forth and stuff, you know.
yeah,
So, um, apart from that, though, I would say this: the in the past they rated the Plus models to be the best for battery, but this
yeah,
time they're rating the Pro Max as the best for battery. You see, so I'm
yeah,
really eager to see what that will translate like and look like, right? Obviously, they're second generation 3 nanometers. They're in bed with TSMC heavy because they're while everyone is still on third generation 4 nanometer, they're on second generation 3 nanometer. You see,
mm,
so whatever they're doing there, I'm very eager to see how that will look like in terms of just day to day, and the fact that they've been able to even say like, oh, the USB-C speeds are faster. What that basically means is if you plug in a hard drive, you're going to be able to do 4K 120 externally with
yeah.
ProRes, and I'm on your side where half of these things, who's going to use them? Not many people, but my
Legit. I don't see anyone. Yeah, it would be
but
it would be tech nerds and journalists and stuff like that will talk about it.
yeah, we'll
Like
talk about
everyone
it.
else. Yeah, no one else is going to use it unless they're being paid to
But you see,
create content or something with it.
what I like though, as proof in concept, it's good to have stuff like this to showcase and flex. Do you understand? There's got to be an element of flexing with these pro and ultra devices, or else why they're charging so much. Yes, we may not use it on a regular day to day, but some things should be more of like a platform showcase of, nah, this is what we've really got under the hood. So you may not use it, but we're just showing you that it's there. Do you understand? And it's
Yeah,
there on
yeah.
a level where it's like, and I'm okay with certain flexes. I feel like there has to be a bit of a Rolex approach to your stuff, like this is our
Mhm.
Rolex. This is what our Rolex does. This is what our this does. Is it really important? No, but it kind of shows you like what about that life in terms of what our platform can do. So I'm not against that. I'm definitely eager to test the battery. I'm definitely eager to test the camera system with the capture. Um, my only thing, like I said, apart from an extra lens, yeah, I feel like the capture button with the camera control, man, they should have just put that same energy and brought back Touch ID and added Face ID with it. I would have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
happier with that. I don't know
yeah.
what your
For real.
thoughts are, but I would have been happier if they put that same energy into making that a Touch ID sensor, or put a Touch ID sensor underneath the screen and then just gloat about we've now got the most superior biometric unlock on any phone from
Yeah,
finger
yeah,
to
yeah.
face. No one can touch us. I don't know.
Listen, it's Apple, man. They won't do that. So
They
we both
won't.
know that they won't.
They won't,
Couple of
man.
things as well is obviously we've got the new processor in there, which is 3 nanometer, but we both know like soon Qualcomm would drop their 8
HM
eight
four.
three Gen 4, yeah, 8 Gen 4.
HM4.
So that would probably be 3 nanometer as well. So that will be a nice battle when that comes across. Some questions here from Tobor. I think I'm saying that right, but yeah. Um, says, how do the cameras compare in terms of resolution, brightness, color accuracy, and refresh rate under 20 hertz? The person's pixel display. I won't know that yet until I have one in my hand. Sorry. Considering the price point, which phone provides better overall value for money, especially in terms of features and performance? Honestly, I would say either the standard 15 plus or the 16 Pro will offer you the best value for money out of the four devices, in my opinion.
Yeah, 16 Pro. 16 Pro for sure.
Yeah, and then this one says, which phone feels more premium and durable, and how do they compare in terms of build quality? Again, I can't tell until it lands, but if I'm going to base that off of the 15 Pro Max using the same titanium build and aluminium chassis, I think they both have good build quality. My Pixel 9 Pro XL, that's much better this year compared to the 8 Pro XL from last year. Like really good build quality on that. And then I do the repairability scores. Again, I wouldn't know that. I don't do repairs or repairability scores. I think that's something that you'd have to wait for like Jerry Riggs Everything or Tom's Hardware, those guys to take apart and give
The
us
iFixit and stuff.
repairability. Those guys will give us a score for that.
Yeah.
But from my experience, iPhones are the worst in terms of repairability. Google's been bad in the past. I remember trying to get my screen that cracked on a Pixel 6, I think it was. I was trying to get it repaired, and the screen cost more than just going out to buy a new one from iFixit. And I was like, that's ridiculous. But yeah, time will tell. We shall see on which ones got the better repairability scores.
Yep, I agree. I agree. There's a lot of Apple keeps so much to the chest. They won't tell you things like RAM quantity, battery
Yeah,
capacity. They won't disclose these things. So generally speaking, even when people get them, you're gonna have to wait, like, let's just say a week later to really have those stats. So for example, when I do my battery drain test, I won't even be able to tell you what the battery capacity is. I just won't,
yeah,
because Apple don't disclose those things. So I kind of just have to go with it and update it as a pinned comment and something in the description. And even
yeah, yeah,
then, you have to really wait for multiple people to do a teardown to then verify the watt hours. What does that actually translate approximately to milliamps? So if you ever hear any of the battery drain tests that I do, I always say that iPhone approximately has this battery size at, let's just say, 4,442. Because as much as they've done the conversion, if Apple themselves don't disclose it, who knows? And even if you go into the Android manufacturers, when they quote what their battery size is, they show you within the settings, but then there's like a rated setting or capacity that is slightly lower even. Like if you go on your Samsung Ultra phone, it will be like 5,000. They'll be like, oh, rated is around 4,885. So
usable.
these things are just a bit of a toss-up where, generally speaking, wait for our controlled test, wait for our real-world test, wait for both. Usually takes us about a good week and 2 weeks, at the earliest, to get something solid out to you. And
Yeah,
usually we need about 6 weeks for us to be like, okay, this is how we really feel. Because you know how it is. There might be some odd bugs, an update might need to be pushed, and you see it. These action buttons and these new features, yeah, something might not be activated or something might be off. And I'll give you an example. When Apple first did macro mode, they didn't have a setting for you to disable it so you can do it manually. So it would automatically just activate sporadically. Like you had
yeah,
no control. You get too close, bang. So they didn't tell you that doing the hands-on. Do you understand? No one told you that. The people at Apple Park didn't tell you that because they've got people around holding these phones. They can't really use them. And then they had to push an update to be like, okay, we give you control over macro mode now. So it doesn't
yeah.
just change randomly what you want. So I'm just saying that to reply to you lot in Tommy's comments as well as my comments. Certain things we generally just have to wait until we get them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Also, a question for you then, because they've increased the screen sizes on the devices on the Pro series.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
why do you reckon that is? Because I'm struggling to figure out what the reason was. Is it because actually I don't know. What would be the reason?
I think it's just walking that fine line of because they can, because they've been able to increase the size and reduce the bezels. Although the phone would be physically bigger, it won't be that much bigger. And I feel like if they're confident in just the ergonomics of the phone, I feel like if they can give someone a bigger screen experience, it
Mm,
helps it. And the only reason why I say helps it is I still feel like the dynamic island and the notch, it's just obnoxious. Do you understand? But it's the trade off of having such a good Face ID system.
yeah,
So if you can make a bigger screen and then you can have game controllers next to it. They're promoting AAA games and all these efficiencies. A bigger
yeah,
display is just going to be nicer, especially when you're trying to get people to experience it like how you would do on a Nintendo Switch, which is about 7 inches. The closer you get to that, the better the experience. That's kind of my take on it, you know?
fair, fair, fair. Let's talk about the watch then, because they've got the Watch Series 10 and the new Watch Ultra as well. The Watch Series 10 has that it's thinner. It's got a wider OLED display as well. They're saying that it's brighter, especially when viewing it at different angles. You'll be able to see it better. And also they have built-in depth and water temperature sensor. And I think the best thing that they announced there for me when it comes to the actual device is that sleep apnea detector, which I really like. I think that's a great thing. One thing I love about Apple when it comes to their health stuff is they've always thought about useful features that people can actually rely on.
Yeah.
So good and the bad, because once you start using and you rely on it, you can't get rid of it, kind of thing. So like your fall detection stuff, for example, people that have experienced that and used it, they rely on Apple Watches because they know that that's one thing that they can rely on. Sleep apnea, I'm intrigued to see what that is, because it's one of those things that most people don't even know that they have it. So so I'm looking forward to getting a watch and trying that out. I'd see how that goes. And then Watch Ultra just literally just comes in a new color. That's the main thing. And there's a new Milanese loop as well, which I really like the latch on it. It reminds me of like some premium high mechanism that I've seen before. But in terms of the watches, I don't think there's much to talk about on there, besides the fact that you just get that new sleep apnea detection. And I'm just intrigued to see how that works. And also the thin profile, I'd love to see if you can actually notice it on wrists. If it's just going to be one of those things where, oh, it's thinner, but can I actually notice it? Because I can't remember what watch it was, the last watch when they made the screen a bit bigger. And you can't really tell if you literally lay on top of each other. You can't really tell much.
I'm gonna struggle to interject here because I'm not a watch person, period. Not really. Let alone a smartwatch person. So I struggle right now. And I'll go off on a tangent for a reason. But I just feel like the Apple Watch lineup is a bit weird now because how I'm looking at it with how I'm sharing it on the screen, the SE has the S8 chip, the Ultra 2 has the S9 chip, and then the 10 has the new S10 chip. And I get they're struggling to figure out what to do with the Apple Watch that's new. But when you're on your 9 years of the Apple Watch, 10th generation, I feel like they should have really put in a lot of effort because I'm telling you, people's reactions were like, this was it. And then on top of that, I get there's difficulty in making titanium into different colors, but the Apple Watch Ultra 2 did not get an upgrade at all. Just a new colorway.
Yeah, the upgrades, honestly, because as per the rumors, is literally just a color.
Damn.
Which they knew they could do in the first place, but now they've brought it just to like spice it up, keep it alive, and keep it going. But they've shot themselves in the foot as well because it's such a great watch that anything that you add to it now is going to be an overkill. Like it's just what more do you need to do with it? In my opinion, I think what Apple should concentrate on is data delivery when it comes to the Health app. You've used the Samsung one before, Samsung Health. You've used Huawei one before. I use a Whoop band, for example.
Yeah.
And the day that I switched to my Whoop band over my Apple Watch on a regular basis is because when I go training, I get so much more data from my Whoop because it tells me all the pinpoints, all the peaks and troughs and everything that I need to see versus my Apple Watch, which is kind of annoying. When I go to Apple Watch, all it gives me is this basic data and I'm just like, oh, thanks. I already know that. So I don't know, man. I think they need to concentrate on that data a bit. Maybe they need to tap more into maybe buying one of these companies that have, if I were them, just go buy Whoop band. They've got everything nailed. Or even Aura, buy Aura for like the sleep data and whatnot that you can do with it. So
I'm with you. I'm not even a watch person to care enough, but I'm saying looking from the outside in, if I am a watch person, I am a smartwatch person, and taking it a step further, and I'm an Apple Watch person, I'm going to look at this and think, wow, that's all you could give us. Damn. Great. And again, this is where we're going into nitpicking territory. But I look at that and I'm just like, eesh, this looks anemic. This looks kind of just, this don't look like much. And I get it, if you're the best, what much more do you need to do to keep being the best, especially when it comes to the Apple Watch? Like, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I couldn't even look at this and think, oh wow, they've done so much to the Apple Watch. This looks exciting. Am I gonna buy it? No. And here's where I think Apple now need to concentrate. The watch seems to have plateaued to the point where I don't know what they're gonna do to it to really make it jazz up again. But a smart ring, I don't know if it's next year, but I don't think any later than 2026, Apple needs to make a smart ring by 2026. If not by next year, cool. But by 2026, in my opinion, they've got to make one. That's when I'll be excited. When I'll be excited. Because at this point, I can't look from the outside in and think, oh, the watch will ever get me over. At this point, I'm like, boy, you lot have done that. It's cool. we need a new wearable category, and we know smart rings are on the boom. I'm using an Ultra Human Air, and bro, it's a life changer, man. Remember we were talking about this. You were saying about Whoop. We was talking about Ultra Human. Fam, these smart rings for someone like me that don't do well with watch, and I'm getting my daily sleep tracking and all this. Yeah, fam, come on. That's what they need to get onto now. They really need to sort themselves out for it.
But it's, if you think about it, like your smart ring is something that I see Apple doing. It's very like an Apple-esque
Oh,
product. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes
bro,
in very soon. To be honest.
imagine a MS edition.
Uh,
they'll milk it just from that alone. A smart ring, a Hermes edition. Ah,
Bro, when Aura did the Gucci version, I was
oh,
all over it. I was
exactly.
like, I just get me one of these, but yeah, the product was shambles because the way it ended up. Let me see any questions in here. Nope. Okay, let's talk about the audio stuff. So they have a new gen AirPods with better audio and active noise cancellation as well. And they say it's the most comfortable one. It's got H4 chip in there as well with some cool bits. The AirPods Pro 2, the biggest call out here really is the hearing aid stuff. Again, going back to my comment earlier about Apple and the way that they create products that has a lot of functional stuff when it comes to certain things. So like your watch stuff and your earbuds. I kind of like that they've included the hearing aid stuff because if you study people like their consumers, some people wear it even when they're not listening to music. It's just something that they wear all the time. It's just part of their daily look, whatever it is. So might as well slap in hearing aid. So that way it becomes even more useful. So I'm not mad at that at all. I think pretty much that's it on those two things in terms of what they announced on them. Let me check my
Yeah.
notes.
Let me just switch over and transition. Flipping. Let me just come out of studio mode.
Yeah, just hearing protection, hearing aid feature. That's pretty much about it. And then the AirPods 4 has that, like I said, H2 chip. It's got 30 hours of battery life, which is cool with the new case. It's nice and slim as well, and small and slim profile, which is really good. It's got voice isolation. Oh, there's one cool thing that they've got as well. Cool thing, which is your shake your head gesture. So if you're talking to Siri, for example, and you want to go, yeah, you can just like nod or sideways to say, no, I don't want that or whatever. So, you know, when it goes, would you like me to, I don't know, call mum? You can be like, which is cool. It's fine. I don't mind it. And then the new AirPods Max. Oh my God. There's no updates. It's just new colors. And now we've got USB-C port. That's it.
Fam.
We've waited this long to get
4 years.
A new
4
AirPods
years.
Max. Just what, you know how many products they've launched since then that's had USB-C port. So you couldn't have had that just AirPods, man. If I bought a pair of them like last month or something, I'd be fuming.
Fam. Like again, I feel like the AirPods 4 got the most love because you've got two versions. Like you said, a really, really competitive price at $129. That's going to really, really go against those Snapdragon sound earbuds that are really competitive with pricing, like the Nothing earbuds and all of those stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then they've got a noise cancelling one, which is an extra £50, $50 give or take where you are. I rate that as well. But really and truly, man, the pros are where it's at. The pros didn't really get much love. But yes, I agree with you. Everything about the hearing aid stuff, sick, clutch. But it's like it stops there. And then my goodness, in terms of it stops there, the Max is just in a different league of you're just getting USB-C. Don't ask us for nothing. Don't come for seconds. Don't bring your Oliver Twist way of life here. You're not getting any more. Like, this is it. Damn. For AirPods Max? You're treating us like Oliver Twist for AirPods Max? Those are peas, bro. Those are peas. And I don't know whether it's because I know Apple went through some apparent lawsuit where they had to turn down one of the features in the in the AirPods Max.
Right, yeah.
I don't know whether it's because of that, so they're now infringing in some areas where they can't really do upgrades. But me, I don't care. You're a multi-trillion-dollar company, yeah.
Get it done.
Figure it out. I don't. I know it sounds harsh, but just figure it out.
Yeah, for real. I think if I went through the whole event and I was trying to give awards to the winners and the losers of the whole thing. I think the winners are literally the iPhone 15 Pro series, and the losers are the AirPods Max with the USB-C port. What do you think?
That's fam. AirPods Max is definitely bottom by far, because for their category shouldn't have gotten that kind of taste. In terms of the winners, I would say for me the 16 Pro specifically.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, people won't really watch 16 Pro content, but that doesn't translate to people won't buy 16 Pro as a product. And I'm coming from someone that was in telco sales as well, right? People like to watch the big dogs go at it, right? So at the end of the day, 16 Pro Max is always going to get the most amount of views against the XL of the 9 Pro and the Ultra of the Samsung. But in fact, the real star of the show is having a phone that is that small with a bigger screen, same chassis, but not missing out on any of the features. But that's a godsend. Those phones are going to sell. It's going to be slightly cheaper enough to notice the price difference, whether buying it outright or monthly. And then you're getting all the same features. I think that's low-key the star of the show, in my opinion.
Fair. And do you think Google or Samsung should be worried after this launch?
Oh, wait, definitely. Okay. Because here's where I still feel like Google should have just stuck to the October launch. I don't think any of us, since Google Pixel 1 from 2016, ever complained about an October launch. It was actually perfect because it's the first month of Q4. Once you go through the whole promo of it being launched, teased, and everything, right? You go through the whole month of October with everyone doing the reviews coverage. When you feed into November, that is the last set of phones you're thinking about into the holiday season. So when it starts getting all his bundles, it starts getting all of his roundups and stuff, right? When we do our phone of the year, it's the phone that sticks to mind the most, even when it's made a couple of mistakes. It's come out with his latest software, all these benefits. Whereas I feel like them not doing it that way, it's now giving Apple a chance to really come in and shine and really step into that light of how, Apple Intelligence is going to be looking, the new colors, titanium being more exotic, the bigger screen, all these things. It gives them the last say and attention. And unfortunately, Samsung don't have anything else to go against these devices apart from the S24 FE when that comes out. And a fan edition phone isn't really going to shake up the rocks for what, Apple are doing across the board with these devices, in my opinion. You see, so unfortunately, they should be worried because Apple knows how to create demand. Somehow there's not going to be enough stock. Everyone's going to be ranting and raving, going here, trying to get it. Listen, it's just going to create a certain level of buzz that isn't going to be there for the others at the minute. And unfortunately, I love things like Video Boost. I do like it. Right. I've tested it. But bro, Video Boost is a phenomenally good feature that is still a crutch.
It takes forever though. Just to process. Oh my god, it takes forever,
bro.
I feel like there might still be a couple of video boosts that I've created. I'm still waiting for the notification to tell me that to tell me it's done, and I'm just like her.
And here's the
feature that I'll be using often.
Here's the thing where I wouldn't even complain too much if the original Video Boost file was 4K. It's a 1080p file. It's a grainy 1080p file. So then you really have to wait where it's like, let's just say you're in a social media situation where you want to post something about something. You say, later on, if I had a Video Boost version of it, I'll post it. But for right now, let me post the 4K version. Maybe when the Video Boost is done, I can use it to do like a reel where I can cut everything up. You can't even do that because, bro, I've used it and it's taken 5 days to Video Boost some of the files before. And I'm like, damn. You see, so when all these things are great, but iPhones can do it natively, they're going to step up with a new ISP. Look how they've done the new photo styles. The photographic styles used to be buried deep, but they're like, nah, Why did we leave it deep in the settings? Let's bring it forward and let's add some swaggy new looks. Look at the names, cozy, this, like all these things. And if you noticed it, bro, they're low key trying to tap into Google's real tone thing. They're like, oh, this new ISP and stuff, it can notice skin tones, remap it, different pipelines. In my mind, I'm like, they're not gonna call it real tone, but they're kind of stepping into like the arena of, don't worry, we've got enough computational power to match skin tones properly now. So if we steal this from you, what do you really have to do?
Yeah.
That's my justification.
Nah, I hear that. I hear that. Man, it's been good, man. What's that say? Tomorrow. How far? How far now? Trying to expose me online.
Trust me.
Nah, all good, man. All good, bro. But yeah, man, this is nice. What's the next launch?
Well, only thing I can think of is gonna be Samsung Fan Edition, of course.
Okay.
Pre-orders for these devices go live on the 13th. You know how it is, man. We're gonna be on the hotline trying to get them in. Devices will be available the week after. Standard procedures on the 20th. Expect content on day 1 and day 2, all the way through the weekend throughout, man. You know, sponsors are really showing up this time around, and I think people are gonna want to see, the XL here and the Ultras here really going at it. So we're gonna feed into that heavy, man. It should be interesting.
I've saved I haven't really touched the Pixel 9 Pro XL review wise. I'm waiting for the iPhone to come because I'm just gonna go straight into a full detailed camera comparison between the S24 Ultra, 9 Pro XL, and then new 16 Pro Max as well.
Yep.
Together. I might chuck in the Sony as well. I've got the Sony, the Pro 4, whatever, Mark 4. Anyway, they're latest.
And
the latest. I've got it as well.
I would say this should be on paper the last big launch, but potentially, I don't know, OnePlus could bring out an open version too. I know Samsung are pretty much only really going to focus on a fan edition. We're not going to really see anything mega from them until after Snapdragon Summit. We see that chipset announced. It gives us an idea what we're going to see for 25 series. That's kind of like the standard procedures for the year. So it would be Google that usually closes it out, but it looks like Apple are going to be the one that are going to close out the big ones for this year. So we'll see what the rest have to say. Maybe Xiaomi have something. Maybe OnePlus have something. But Samsung ain't going to do anything major apart from the fan edition. So take it as it is, man.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, guys, for everyone that tuned in, man, big up. Thank you. I can't even speak. Thanks everyone that tuned in. It's always fun to catch up and talk about tech stuff.
Come on, man.
But what people don't realize is most of the time we're just locked away in the studio.
Listen.
By yourself, just doing random stuff and filming stuff.
Listen.
Yeah, it's nice.
Even now, like, I have to finish a script for a sponsor video, but it's good to kick it just to get different perspectives, man. It kind of helps give us a bit of a pre-notion before we go in. So if you want to see more of these, let us know, man. Just interact, go in the comments, share it. And more of it will be available to you when we do these major product launches. And like we said, we've streamed this in 4K UHD. So live squad as well as replay squad, man. You got the bandwidth, the capacity, and the device, man. Switch up from 720p HD, go up to 4HD 1080, go up to QHD 1440p, all the way up to the maximum of 2160p 4K UHD for the crispiest live stream on Tech YouTube. It's been me, Ben from Lover of Tech, and of course, the Gadgets boy himself, Tommy Adebayo. We'll catch you in the next one. Stay blessed, stay easy. Peace.
Thanks for watching.